everyone, it's Duncan here, and today we're back with HeadRush to see if we can go about dialing in two different types of a classic rock guitar tone using the Revalver 5 plugin. So for this video, I've broken my rig down into two preset patches. The first is going to be a classic rhythm guitar tone, which is going to be a Telecaster going into a Fender style amplifier. And then the second is the iconic Marshall and Les Paul combo. Each one of these preset patches can be used as a great foundation for any classic rock song out there, but also it's going to be a really good help to get you started with Revalver 5. So before we dive into actually creating our preset patches, let's first understand what a classic rock guitar tone is all about. Classic rock guitar tones are normally characterized by their gain staging, clarity, and also the versatility to be used across a wide variety of songs and patches. To really achieve that signature sound, you need to pay attention to a few factors. The first would be gain staging, then EQ, and also how different guitars and also amp models will affect our overall sound. So let's start by hearing my first preset patch, which I created using a Les Paul into a very famous British amplifier. This patch is great for any solo style tones, and for any Zakk Wylde fans out there, then I definitely modeled this whole patch off his Pride and Glory days. So this first preset patch is called the very inspiring Classic Rock Les Paul, and it features a medium gain setting on the HeadRush version of the Marshall 67 Super Lead Plexi with an EL84 mod on Revalver 5. So to be honest, I've left most of the settings on the amp fairly standard. What I have done is I've created a slightly mid-push tone by boosting our mids and treble and our presence here, but honestly the main way to get this amp to sing is using our IR loader and our cab selection. So cabs make a huge difference in terms of getting the best sound from your plugin. So having to play with a few different IRs really helps get the best sound for you from your amp. So what I've done here is I've swapped out the matched cab from the Marshall and I've changed it for the HeadRush 2x12 B30 with a dynamic 57. As you can see on screen, I A-B'd the Ribbon 121 and the dynamic 57 both on that B30 cab. I basically had to play with both of them left and right to see if they would work together, and actually ended up going just with the dynamic 57. The Ribbon 121 just muddied the tone too much for this actual preset patch. So in front of the amp, it's quite simple, but we've got a trusty Greener TS808 overdrive, which I've got the overdrive all the way off, and then the level set full. This is just acting as a nice mid boost into the front of our amp. And then our main gain staging is this S1 drive, which is modeled off of the Boss SD1 overdrive pedal. With this, I had to play around with how much gain I really wanted to come through. Basically, I was trying to get a good riff sound, but also a great solo tone. So with it engaged, it really kind of helps push those mids as I've adjusted the tone a little bit as well. In isolation, here's how both drive pedals are sounding and also what they're doing to our overall tone. Behind the amp is really simple as well. All I've done is I've added an EQ pedal here, which is just boosting our mids and also our highs, just to help cut through the mix and also help with our overall solo tone. And then our reverb, what I've done here is I've used a captured 6505 spring reverb, and I've just kept the kind of mix control quite low down, so it's just adding a little bit of spatial depth to our overall sound. Next, we're going to be taking a look at my second preset patch, which is called the Classic Rock Telecaster. And this is going to be great for any rhythm guitar tones and also some big open chords. so for the foundation of this tone, we've gone a little bit different than our previous preset patch. For this, we've added the HeadRush Tweed Deluxe, which is modeled off a 1959 Fender Tweed Deluxe with an added gain mod. So EQ wise, what I've done here is I've actually engaged the bright switch, and then also I've generally kind of boosted our overall gain and master volume, just giving a nice foundation to a crunchy guitar tone, but enough that if we rolled off our volume control, we're going to get some really glassy cleans as well. One cool part to this amp that we'll demonstrate a little bit later is the tremolo section. This is really good to adding some depth to your rhythm guitar tones, but also it's just great that it's built into the amplifier. Cab wise, we are matching it with its intended IR, and the only thing which I've really done here is I've added a 0.10 millisecond delay just to make the amp feel like it's a little bit in the room with us rather than being mic'd up super close. In front of the amp, it's again nice and simple. What we've got here is we've got a boost / overdrive pedal and then a simple EQ pedal. For the overdrive, I have chosen this Buddha OD and boost pedal. Reason for choosing this one is it actually has a separate boost and overdrive control, so we can leave the boost on for the majority of our tone, and if we want a little bit extra gain, then we can just kick on that overdrive setting. EQ wise, we're using one of my favorite EQ pedals, and for this what we're really doing is we're just taming some of that high end. I mean, we are using a Telecaster, so it can get quite bright, so we're just taming that down, and I'm using the boost control here, the level, just to basically boost the front end of our overall guitar tone into the front of the amp. Behind the amp is simple. We've just got a little bit of spatial depth here, so what I've done is I've added a classic 30s spring on the back, and I've just adjusted the mix control to get that leveled in how I like it. So to wrap things up, I'm just going to go through the preset patches a little bit more, playing a couple of different demonstrations and show you the wide variety of tones that you can get from using these preset patches. So there you go. That's my personal take on how I would use Revalver 5 to get me two types of a classic rock guitar sound. I hope you've learned something new and also found some inspiration to go and dial in your own classic rock guitar tones. If you like this video, then don't forget to give it a like, thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps out, and plus, we got plenty more tonal challenges on the way. As always, I've been Duncan, and I'll see you all in the next one.